Anoint your new apartment. Here is why. Not everyone has the patience to wait on God's blessings. People have avowed to New Age beliefs, occultism, Freemasonry, and devil worship to gain wealth and fame. Some of this building we live in have altars raised, sacrificial offerings were made. Some of our roads were constructed by overseas contractors. They slaughtered pigs and buried them before they started working on the roads. All these practices create a legal ground for territorial demons. They govern such areas and are thirsty for more sacrifices. Have you ever noticed that by moving into a certain area, you start experiencing the same challenges being faced there? The town I grew up in had the spirit of stagnation and backwardness. Many landladies were known to seek witchcraft powers which affected the whole town, so you could find that they each had a mentally ill child. Half of the landladies lost their husbands and children to alcohol and accidents. Luke 4:18, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised. Anoint your new space. Pray against all territorial demonic attacks. Sprinkle the blood of Jesus before moving in. Here is my story. My parent moved to a new house with our firstborn sister in 1984. Me and all my other siblings were born and raised there. It was a good life. My parents had businesses, so we were doing well. It was rumored that the landlady was using witchcraft. She went Tanzania to get snakes purposed for licking a very big wound she had on her leg. Nobody ever noticed all the demonic activities that took place during late nights. Me having my spiritual gift, all this burden fell on me. I was a child, so even when I said what I saw or heard, nobody cared. They actually said I was mentally disturbed. So parents, if you hear your child talking such strange things, kindly follow up. As years went by, the landlady gave my dad some space to add another room for the girls' bedroom. It was a small room with a poorly done wooden floor, which had gaps. As I matured, I began to notice the demonic activities clearly. My nights were so weird. I remember having sleepless nights. I got out of bed to sleep on the floor, for my body used to get really hot. As I woke up at nights, I smelled something very foul, like death itself, which I came to learn that it was a demonic presence in the room. I became so traumatized I couldn't even relate with other kids at school. I was so afraid of people. I became soft-spoken. Fear overtook me. Nightmares, night terrors became a part of my life. I had nothing to do about it, so I embraced it. I could hear someone stepping on our roof, the other roofs in the area. I also heard a woman knock from door to door, saying, "Audi, Audi, 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 Audi." She moved as fast as wind, so one could totally tell was not a physical or human knock. It was probably the same woman stepping on the roof. Having the spirit of discernment and learning a lot, I now know it was spiritual witchcraft activities that were taking place. Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed from lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I also reject you. My priests, because you have ignored the law of your God, I also will ignore your children. One day as we came from school, we found out that our dad and few other men had killed and burned a very large black snake. From that day, more fear clipped. In adding to what I was going through, I started seeing more snakes through the gaps of our bedroom floor. One day I saw this really lovely silver snake just near my bed. It looked harmless, but I was still scared for my life. I ran to call my mom and dad, so they came running. When we got there, the snake had disappeared. From this point, they were very sure I had a mental problem. Till this day, I hear that people who live in the plot experience the same challenges. The nightmares continued until my adulthood, that when I decided to get help, I went for deliverance several times, but it never worked until when I decided to fast and pray against witchcraft. I have had nightmares, seeing snakes in the same house we lived in. I even saw some biting me. It's not an easy process, trust me. One needs to be consistent and hold on to salvation for complete deliverance. As I kept praying, I saw myself killing the snakes, and that's how I knew victory was mine. The whole experience instigated delay, stagnation, and backwardness in my life. Everything in my life was going slow, but I thank God for discernment. Pray over your land, your house, your new apartment. Concentrate every dwelling you have to abolish every evil altar.